Hey guys, I'm going to start working on the level editor part of this level editor now. Um, as you can see, I've already created and added a ton of stuff. It took me a little while to figure out how I wanted this to look. So to make it easier for everybody, I did everything already, and then just in the description, I'm gonna try to put a download link to this base because there's a lot of objects. There's 3 layers, and it's just a lot easier if why is it on layer 3? It's just a lot easier if I go ahead and do it beforehand and let people download it compared to doing it and then trying to figure out what I'm supposed to be doing, what I'm wanting to happen, what I'm wanting to look like, and going back over and over. It would be taking like a full episode. But anyway, here we are. Let me rename this to info. And this to and then I'm just gonna resave this. Save project as. Save as. Save as. Okay. Now I'm gonna actually start. Let's see, is this all correct? Yes, it is. Okay. So, start a frame. Oh. Really quickly, level editor. Set level names default to test. Lowercase. So the first thing that we're going to do is just an aesthetic that makes it easier. New group of events. I'm going to call it grid gen. And we're going to do start a frame, fast loop, start loop, grid gen x. I moved my microphone so it's farther away from my mouse, but it's closer to my keyboard. So the keyboard's going to be a little bit louder, but I use that a lot less often than I use the mouse, so it should be better. I hope. Number of loops is going to be, I did the math beforehand, it's 18. And then on loop, grid gen x, we're going to grid gen y. I think it's 32. And then grid gen y, we're going to create this grid at -32, -32, and then position, set the x to fast loop, grid gen x times 32, and then set the y to grid gen y times 32. I screwed up on x and y. Y is supposed to be 18, x is supposed to be 32. I screwed up. And that's odd. Oh, that's why. And for the x, or for the y, do plus, this in parentheses, plus 128. Yeah, so it's not 32. Let me get my calculator. 1280 minus 32 divided by 32 is 39, not 32. So grid x goes 39 times. There we go. Now it fills up the whole thing. And I'm just gonna rename this to just grid. because to have 3 events in one group is kind of like pointless. So I'm gonna also say if the box is checked, visibility, make it reappear. If it's not checked, so negate, then visibility, make it invisible. And then I'm going to say, I'm just going to insert only once if event loops. Limit conditions once when event loops, so that we're not constantly using processing power. So they're invisible, now they're visible. Insert group random text. This is the random info text. It's going to be always set text change alterable string to mouse plus mouse tile is going to be mouse tile. You can change these words to whatever you want. This is basically just going to say all the stuff that the user is going to need to know about what they're looking at. So like the mouse position, the tile the mouse is over, whether or not you can collide with it, if it's a wall or if it's air. Like just tons, like all the information that the user is going to know. I'm going to probably come back to this and edit a couple times, but so the mouse tile is going to be mouse or string, because there's going to be some math, string mouse x or x mouse divided by 32 divided by 32 times 32, get that into some parentheses because I don't trust Fusion's math all the time. And then one sec. So this will give us the raw position. Then we have to do -4 to get rid of the little top bit, and plus gonna need to make some global values, but retrieve global value. No, we won't need to make global values. I'll need to make let me make an object really quickly just to store values. And then plus values get A, and then we'll rename those two, A and B. A is going to be scroll X. You know what? No, we don't even need the values. What am I doing? Get rid of this. We're going to say plus. I have the vert scroll bar, and that's supposed to be horse scroll bar, but vert scroll bar, horse scroll bar is going to be get value. And then plus little comma space, and just really quickly close parentheses. And then we're going to do basically this entire thing. But it's going to be Y instead of Y mouse, and then don't need this because there's no top part, and then just make this vert scroll bar. And going to rename this to or scroll bar. And then I can get rid of the values thing that I didn't end up using. So now, you don't need to do the multiply. You just divide. So get rid of this. There we go. So now it's going to show my mouse's position. And of course, as always, I screwed up the X and Y. X does not need the minus, Y does need the minus. So fix that very quickly, and then it'll have, this is 0, 0, and then every 32 it'll add 1 until we get all the way to 38. 39's back here, but 38. I'll add some more info to it later on. So the next thing that we want to do is we want to load the tiles. File, insert, group events, load tiles. And I've forgotten to mention, if you don't have any of the things that I'm using, any of the extensions, you can just click manager and find any of them that you don't need. You can go ahead and search like Associative Array, and you'll find it, reinstall, or install for you guys. But I just, as soon as I installed this, I just went through and installed everything that I wanted to, really. Excuse me. So we're gonna need a file folder object that I forgot to put in there, and we're going to say start a frame. I'm gonna go ahead and level select and copy this event, so that just in case somehow somebody got here before that could happen, it'll happen again. Start a frame, hard drive, browsing loop, start browsing a folder. It's going to be app directory plus tiles slash that, browsing loop 0. And then hard drive, browsing loop, on item, insert, and I'm going to need a file. I know that probably file folder has like get the extension of the object, but I don't really like know enough to like know exactly where it is, but general values. So names, extension name of browsing loop, current path, we're just going to say if it ends in .png. Is that correct? Or do you not need you need the dot, okay. Saved it really quick. I've been saving this the right thing, right? I'm just gonna save as, yeah, I've been saving it the right thing. Then we're going to add a line to the list, and it's going to be file names, file title, browsing loop, current browse path. And so now, because I have the grass and water textures, it'll have, or if I run it'll have grass and water. It'll load. And then I'm wanting to say if selection is changed, just set the tile preview, new picture is expression, app dir tiles plus current line plus .png. So now we'll be able to preview the tiles before we place them to say, oh, is this the right grass texture? Because maybe somebody has like 5 grass textures to mix it up, but they have 7 water textures, and they're like, is this the right water texture that I want to use? You don't know, and that's why level editors are interesting. Next, so let's load tiles. The next thing, I'm gonna add 2 more objects. They're going to be numeric up-down controls. two of them, so there's one, and I'm going to change the size so it's 16. And clone, rename, it's going to be called, what is it, my gosh, what can I not think of what this is called, map x size and map y size, and they're both going to be 64. Is that good? No, I'll set it to 80. And the height is going to be 64. 32. Too short. 48. There we go. Now, 64. That looks fine. You can design these to look however you want. I'm just doing it the way that I want them. These need to be taller. That's better. Set these minimum to be, I'll say like 8. 8 is a good minimum. You can always set the minimum to just be like the size of this. Actually, yeah, I'm going to do that. I'm going to say the minimum x, set the maximum to be something really big like 128. Minimum, I think, is 39. Is set to 38. Or, yeah, 38. And the minimum y is 18. 128. And then we're going to go to insert group of events, scroll bars. Always, or we can do, yeah, just do always. Set scroll range. Minimum is going to be 0. And this is the vertical scroll bar, so we're going to get map y size, get value minus 39, excuse me. So if they have the size of the map just set to 39, which is, or minus 18. So if they have the size of the map set to like the minimum, where it won't scroll and the scroll bars won't do anything, it's just going to set the scroll bar to like nothing, and so you won't have like a scroll bar that just doesn't do anything, confuses people. And then minus 18 divided by 32. No, not divided by, just minus 18. So the scroll bar is full, and then as I add more, it's going to make the scroll bar work like more and more. And now we have to do this one, 0 to minus 39. There we go, that works. So that's good. And next we have to do, next I'm going to do just actually drawing the level. So drawing, and I'm going to say start a frame, load a file, app.dir levels plus, and we need to get the global value. No, not global value. Global string. global string level name plus dot ARR, and then just method 0. And for the grid, I'm going to rename this to overlay grid. Overlay grid. And then I'm going to make another group of events. Insert. I'm going to copy this. And then say tile grid. And then tile gen X, tile gen Y. Tile gen X, tile gen Y, and then we're going to change this to create tile at negative 32. Also start a frame, destroy tile. Make sure that's afterwards. And then just gonna copy this. Position, set X coordinate to tile gen X times 32, and set the Y coordinate to tile gen X, or grid tile gen Y times 32 plus 128. And these two aren't needed. And so, as you can see, we now have like 100, or that's the wrong button. We now have 999 objects, where I think it ran out. It might not have, which I would be fairly surprised. Set the maximum number of objects like 5,000, just in case. Yeah, because it ran out. So set the maximum number of objects to like a high number. Doesn't really matter how high it is, just needs to be above like 1,500. So start a frame. Load the associative array object, and I'm actually going to put this here with that sort of frame, so that when it's generating the tiles, I can also say new picture and then get the correct picture. So let me just there it is, tile preview. Oh yeah, and we also have to do, I'm gonna just really quickly nice. Do underdrawing always tile new picture, and then just use expression, paste what you have from before. No, that's not correct. Paste what you have from before, so you'll have all this stuff. Let me make this bigger. You'll have all this stuff. Get rid of that and get rid of this. So you have two strings, and then do get values A plus, you're going to want the horizontal scroll bar value, and then you're going to copy this into the second string. You're going to use alter value B, and instead of hor scroll bar, you're going to use vert scroll bar. Missing close bracket, where am I missing close bracket? Where are these? Oh, okay. Yeah, good. Save. So, and then I'm going to say alt values set algebra value A to fast loops get loop index tile gen X, and then you can double click to bring it up, just the list of events, and then copy paste, and then B to Y. And I'm going to go ahead and rename those to tile X and tile Y. So the grid does show up. I just don't know why I wanted to check that, but I did. Okay, so next, none of this we can see what's going on yet because these all still have like the picture of nothing. But I'm going to make it so that we can actually see stuff. Let me just check that under random text. We have, yep. Yeah, that's good. Okay, that's good, that's good. I'm going to go ahead and copy from this random text. I'm gonna get this, the mouse's X part, and then say mouse is over an object, and it's going to be over the tile. Insert grid, compare two general values. The list get current line number is greater than -1, and let me just check that that is 0-based index, so uncheck the 1-based index, and insert mouse repeat while mouse is clicked, and you're going to say left. You're just going to go to Associative Array, and basically what I've seen people do, and it takes a really, really long time to save and load, is they set the picture, they'll set the tile's picture, and then saving, they'll like have a long fast loop go through every single tile, which is how I originally did it, and it was really, really bad because it would take so long to do anything because you have to have like hundreds of thousands of tiles for like a bigger map, where this works differently. This will be this, we're going to write it directly to the array, and then the pictures that actually don't move are going to be loaded from the array. So I'm going to say modify add a value. The key is going to be tile with a semicolon plus this long thing from the math. So we're going to get a string from the random text plus semicolon plus, and then we're going to use the y, and this all has to be a string. I think this has to have the -4. And then I think that's good. And then the value is going to be, oh, we don't want a value. What am I doing? Just cut this out. Delete that. Make sure you've copied it. Modify add a string. Paste it into the, so the key is still the same. The string is going to be the current line. So now let me shrink. Let me make this smaller. Gonna make a new string, rename it, call it last action. And this is basically gonna keep the user, in this case ourselves, just alert of what's just been going on. 256 is a good size. copy all this, and then go to last action. Set the alterable string to tile just edited at. See what this looks like. So I'm at like 6.2. Oh, I see. They're invisible, that's why. How do I want to do this? Click this and then say picture resize fast, first of all. Transparent color, no transparent color. Is that possible? First pixel, I guess. Take off the transparent effect. I think that should work. No? Yeah, so let me think. I know how I can do this. Change this. Yeah, change mouse pointer is over picture to compare two general values. Y mouse is greater than 128, and copy that, and then do X mouse is greater than 1, or greater than 0, and then copy these again, and then do Y mouse is lower than, what is the number? 1280 minus 32 is 1248. And X mouse is, gosh dang it, lower than 1248. Y mouse should be lower than 720 minus 16 is 704. I didn't see that Steam thing actually. Want to check that later. So this should work. Where did I go? Why doesn't it? Oh, duh. I don't have the list selected. There we go. So there's our drawing. It's amazing. As far as I know, if I scroll, it should scroll. It does. Amazing. Look at that. And then I can add some water. I'm going to do this. I'm going to add to this a little bit. I'm going to make I'll add to it later. I'm going to make a smoothing thing later so you can have like a smooth line compared to just sporadic. But yeah, now that works. Amazing. How long is this video so far? 33 minutes. Think I'll do collisions in the next video. Also, the reason I did show grid so that you can do like this and you can be sure where the grid is if you're not entirely sure where it is. So like I could do a little lake. These textures turned out a lot better than I thought they would actually. So like if I didn't have the grid and these textures were like seamless compared to like having the line at the bottom, line at the top like I accidentally did, and I wanted to be sure like exactly where like the grid is, you can go like show grid. But yeah, next, can't really work on a map yet. Next we want to do saving. So I'm going to really quickly add saving, and then in the next, actually collisions don't take long, so I'll do saving and collisions, and then we'll be good. So insert group events saving, button, save is clicked, then we're going to just, let me get copy where it's loading from, and then just array files, save an array file in that exact same place. So if we run .test, doesn't look like anything. If we go and edit the level, I can add some grass over here. There we go. Look at this grass, it's amazing. Turn on the grid really quick. Get some water. Like maybe I want a little lake up here. It's like a marshland. Then I can add some grass. And the reason I'm using pictures instead of just actives that have different sprites on the active is because if you use tiles, I'm going to add an export button so that it'll export into a zip file, and then when somebody installs the map, it will, what's the word I'm looking for? It'll like put not only the array file, but it'll also be able to install all the tile files, so like people can make their own tile and stuff. So now if I save and exit, or exit doesn't work yet, so file new, if I get test, it will show all of the amazing map work that I've done in the preview. So saving works, and if I click it at level, it'll still be there. Save your level editor, and next I want to do collisions. Collisions are super easy, at least for programming them. Collisions. And a really quick thing that I want to do actually is edit your grid, add a second frame, set the animation speed to 0, and then on the second frame I'm gonna add a little red like circle over it, and this is going to show that it is a wall. You can have this red circle be whatever you want. It doesn't have to be like a red cross like I'm doing, but I feel like this kind of shows that it's a wall. Actually, no, I'm going to do something a little different. I'm not going to do this. You can do this however you want. I'm going to just make an alpha channel and have the center of it be a little bit transparent. Not like that. There we go. So now, go to your collisions, say start a frame, just gonna drag that from up there. Start a frame, collision type, where is it? Set ratio button, select a ratio button, 0, that should, yeah, so it starts out. I'm gonna switch this order. So it's gonna be air first, air, wall. And then I'm gonna rename it, change this text to show grid / collisions. There we go. So start a frame, it selects it, sets it to air, and then while drawing, I'm going to go ahead and do copy paste this and edit the new one that you just pasted. The key, instead of being tile, is going to be exactly the same, but it's going to be collision. And then the string is going to be value of set radio button. And it's going to be a string. Doesn't really matter. It could be a value. It still doesn't matter. It's just as long as you have the radio button's value as 0 or 1. 0 being air, 1 being a wall. I'm going to copy paste this actually down here, just that, and then I'm going to delete this. I'm gonna delete that. Okay, so basically, just making it so that the let me read that. Okay, so basically I just made it so that drawing tiles is just the images and drawing collisions is just the collisions, so that they're not like mixed into each other. And then I want to do, where is it? Right. Go to overlay grid, and where it's saying the positions, set ultra value A to fast loop get loop index grid gen X, and as before copy paste and set B to grid gen Y. And then you can always go and set the grid Y. And then, so the picture set the tile always. Hang on. So there's like a ton of math in this with this kind of part. So I'm gonna go ahead. Hang on. I'm gonna go ahead, copy this where the X is, and then under the grid, I'm going to animation change animation frame to I'm gonna do this. I'll just manually actually set it to get string from, or you need a value of get string from key, just because of the way that I did it, and it's just going to be collision semicolon plus values grid X, or string of grid X plus grid X plus, hang on, I'm just trying to make this organized, grid X plus horizontal scroll bar value, and then copy this whole string part, and then plus another semicolon plus, and then paste it, and then change Y and invert. So in theory, this should, if I do like wall, it doesn't. Oh, I need, yeah, cool, that's really cool. So basically the reason that I did that is maybe you want, for some odd reason, maybe you want some water you can walk through, some water that's you can't walk through, or maybe, because basically the way this is set up is I'm going to make an extension of these that are like, you can add more and more different types. This entire level editor setup is set up to be, you can change things and make it however you want. So like, instead of just having air and wall, I could also have air, wall, water, and then maybe like mountain, and it could be, I could have it set for in the collisions, if you're on a boat, you can go through water, but you still can't go through wall. Or if you're, if you have like something that lets you climb the mountain, you can go up the mountain, but you can't go through the wall, and you can't go through water. It's just that, like, this is all made in a way that you can make incredibly dynamic maps compared to just, like, everything being pre-built and then you're restricted later on. Just fill this out. So as you can see when I show the grid and collisions, that works. And then if I were to set this wider, the grid follows. So I can save this now and close it, and when I open it, it still has my collisions. Save, and under drawing tiles, I'm going to add a starter frame saying just set the current line to 0. And where is the preview? There we go. Yeah, just so it's by default you're set to draw grass. So I think that's good. I will make the exit button work. And then X is just going to be button clicked, jump to frame 1. So I can load up the map, edit level, draw whatever I want. Draw a little thing down here. Save, exit, and then when I check it out again, it'll be now saved with the little lip. So next I'm gonna go ahead and do like compiling levels. So I'm just gonna prepare for that right here by doing, I'll move exit down here and then change this to compile. Rename it to compile. Save. And that's going to do it for this part of the series. Next part, I'm going to do compiling and installing so people can compile their map and install other people's maps. That's going to be a little bit interesting because of the way that like I have pictures set up. But yeah, I think I can figure out a way to go through it. Thank you for watching. I will see you next time.